Good morning. This is Pastor Jeff. Daily lectionary readings for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. We have our three readings today. Psalm 98 is our psalm reading. Daniel 6, 1 through 28 is going to be our Old Testament reading. And the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, verses 22 through 27 is our New Testament reading. With it being Wednesday, this is our last day of reflecting back on what was happening at church on this past Sunday. Today, we're going to read these scriptures out of the Legacy Standard Bible. Psalm 98. Sing to Yahweh a new song, for he has done wondrous deeds. His right hand and his holy arm have worked out his salvation. Yahweh has made known for salvation. He has revealed his righteousness in the eyes of nations. He has remembered his loving kindness and his faithfulness to the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have been and have seen the salvation of our God. Make a loud shout to Yahweh, all of the earth. Break forth and sing for joy and sing praises. Sing praises to Yahweh with the lyre and the sound of singing, with trumpets and the sounds of the horn. Make a loud shout before King Yahweh. Let the sea roar as well as its fullness, the world and those who dwell in it. Let the rivers clap their hands. Let the mountains sing together for joy before Yahweh, for he is coming to judge the earth. He will judge the world with righteousness and the people with equity. Our Old Testament reading comes from Daniel 6. It seemed good to Darius that he set 120 satraps over the kingdom, and they would be in charge of the whole kingdom, and over them 3 commissioners, of whom Daniel was one, that these satraps might be accountable to them, and that the king might not suffer loss. Then this Daniel began distinguishing himself among the commissioners and satraps, because an extraordinary spirit was in him, and the king planned to set him over the entire kingdom. Then the commissioners and satraps began seeking to find a ground of accusation against Daniel in regard to matters of the kingdom. But they were not able to find any ground of accusation or evidence of corruption. Inasmuch as he was faithful, and no negligence or corruption was to be found in him. Then these men said, "We will not find any ground of accusation against this Daniel, unless we find it against him with the regards of the law to this God." Then these commissioners and satraps came by agreement to the king and said thus to him, "King Darius, live forever. All the commissioners of the kingdom, the prefects and the satraps, the high officials and the governors have counseled together that the king should establish a statute and enforce an injunction that anyone who seeks to make a petition to any god or man besides you, O king, for 30 days shall be cast into the lion's den. Now, O king, establish this injunction and sign the written document so that it may not be changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which may not be revoked. Therefore, King Darius, sign the written document that is in the injunction." Now, when Daniel knew that it was a written document was signed, he entered his house. Now, his roof chamber, he had windows open towards Jerusalem. He continued kneeling on his knees 3 times a day, praying and giving thanks before his God, as he had done previously. Then these men came by agreement, and they found Daniel seeking to make a petition and making supplications before his God. Then they came near and said before the king concerning the king's injunction, Did you not sign an injunction that any man who seeks to make a petition to any god or man besides you, O king, for 30 days, is to be cast into the lion's den? The king answered and said, The word is certain, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which may not be revoked. Then they answered and said before the king, Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, O king, or to the injunction which you signed, but keeps seeking to make his petition 3 times a day. Then, as soon as the king heard this word, he was greatly distressed within himself, and set his mind on saving Daniel. And even until sunset, he became exerting himself to deliver him. Then these men came by agreement to the king, and said to the king, Know, O king, that it is a law of Medes and Persians, that no injunction or statute which the king establishes may be changed. Then the king said the word, and Daniel was brought in and cast into the lion's den. The king answered and said to Daniel, Your God, whom you constantly serve, will himself save you. And a stone was brought and placed over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet ring, with the signet rings of the nobles, so that nothing would be changed in regard to Daniel. Then the king went off to his palace and spent the night fasting, and no entertainment was brought before him, and his sleep fled from him. Then the king rose at dawn, at the break of the day, and hurriedly went to the lion's den. When he came near the den to Daniel, he cried out with a troubled voice. The king answered and said to Daniel, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you constantly serve, been able to save you from the lions? Then Daniel spoke to the king, O king, live forever. Sorry about that. My God sent his angel and shut the lion's mouth, and they have not harmed me, inasmuch as I was found innocent before him, and also towards you. O king, I have done no harm. Then the king was greatly pleased, and said for Daniel to be taken up out of the den. So Daniel was taken out of the den, and no harm whatsoever was found on him, because he had believed in his God. The king then said the word, and they brought those men who had brought charges against Daniel, and they cast them, their children and their wives, into the lion's den, and they had not reached the bottom of the den before the lions overpowered them and crushed all of their bones. Then Darius the king wrote to all the people, nations and men of every tongue, who were inhabiting all of the land. May your peace abound. I make a decree that in all the dominion of my kingdom, men are to fear and be in dread before the God of Daniel. For he is living God and enduring forever, and his kingdom is one in which will not be destroyed, and his dominion will be until the end. He saves and delivers the signs and wonders in heaven and earth, who has also saved Daniel from the powers of the lion. So that Daniel enjoyed success in the kingdom of Darius and the kingdom of Cyrus the Persian. Our New Testament reading comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, verses 22 through 27. Thankfully, it's a shorter reading, and I really wish that my water was in my cup, but it's empty. Here we go. And while they were gathering together in Galilee, Jesus said to them, The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him, and he will be raised on the 3rd day. And they were deeply grieved. Now, when they came to Capernaum, those who collected the 2 drachma tax came to Peter and said, Does your teacher not pay the 2 drachma tax? He said, Yes. And when he came to the house, Jesus spoke to him first, saying, What do you think, Simon? From whom do the kings of the earth collect tolls or taxes? From their sons or from strangers? And when Peter said, From strangers, Jesus said to him, Then the sons are exempt. However, so that we do not offend them, go to the sea and throw a hook and take the first fish that comes up. And when you open its mouth, you will find a stater. Take that and give it to them for me and you. And here ends our readings for the day.